Is John Shinn listening to this? Poor John. Oh my God. Do you have anything to add? I hope. I'm
John, how do you feel about the guy with the OU tattoo, or even better, the upside down Longhorn tattoo?
Oh yes.
I'll say this: you're probably better off getting the upside down Longhorn tattoo than going out and buying the upside down Longhorn hat, which Texas gets money for.
You're kidding.
Yeah, it's a Texas logo. Doesn't say you got to run it right.
Some Sooner fans will just buy the Texas logo and get the sticker and turn it upside down on their car.
Yeah,
they're giving money to Texas.
So they're making money out of it.
Yeah.
But here's one thing I want to know, Todd. How does a tattoo on your back remind you of anything?
Yes,
I can see it when I look over the shoulder. I see it in the mirror every morning.
There's no way
I don't know about you,
over
John.
your shoulder.
Yes, I can. It's just right here over my shoulder.
Not a chance in hell.
I can see it.
I mean, I know one guy. He had a gambling problem. He tattooed "Born to Lose" on his left hand. That is how a tattoo reminds me.
That is awesome. That is fantastic.
But outside of that, I do not care about the tattoos. But I agree with you, Todd. Don't go around tattooing team logos on your body anywhere.
You're not going to get Norman transcript tattooed across your back in Old English?
No.
In Old English. Oh, could you imagine? That would be great. John Shinn with us in Little Caesars Hot and Ready Hotline. Tattoo Talk.
Hopefully nobody got a Keith Ford tattoo.
Yeah.
Keith Ford, number 21.
Yeah, that's a bummer, man. Why ultimately is this happening, John, in your opinion? Not the tattoos, Keith Ford.
Depth chart. I mean, you could tell. I think I talked about it with you guys, and it was coming up right when the season ended. Which one of these running backs are going to transfer? And Keith Ford pulled the trigger. I mean, I saw what he told Garen last night about, didn't get along with Jay Boulware. Some of that may have been the case, but bottom line is when the year begins, you're the starter. By the end of the year, there's a freshman All-American, and there's another freshman is pretty good coming up behind you. If you're looking for a reason to transfer, you're going to find one, and it was pretty apparent that he did. So that's why it happened.
We have talked about this, Todd and I, on the show, and I don't know if you heard us ranting about it, but I am curious about the mix-up of playing time / rep. Well, not necessarily touches. I guess just snaps between Samaje Perine and Joe Mixon, who by all accounts is looking fantastic and is going to be obviously a big part of the offense next year for the Sooners. On how Samaje Perine would take that, because it would almost equate to, even if you did have more snaps this year in a Lincoln Riley offense, it would almost unequivocally mean that Samaje Perine is going to get less touches and less snaps than he did last year, and how that would go over with a guy like that who basically kept the Sooners offense afloat last year.
Well, if Perine's not getting the ball 25 times a game, you're making a mistake. Here's a guy that has proven he can carry an offense. Now, a lot of these running backs are smart enough to know now that the shelf life for a professional running back is very long. So you're probably better off if you're not in college getting the ball 45 times a game. But if he's not getting it 25 times a game, you're wasting a pretty unique talent right there. I think OU understands that.
So how do you expect it to go this year in terms of breakdown?
I expect Perine to be averaging somewhere between 20, 25 rushing attempts a game, probably another 2 or 3 catches a game. Because the other thing is about Perine is he fumbled, I think, twice last year in all those carries, which for a freshman is incredibly unique. And also one of the deals on Keith Ford, his fumbles are one of the reasons that he was getting buried on that depth chart. But I still haven't seen Joe Mixon, and I have still not definitely not seen them in a live situation. So until you do that, you're just going off people's words who, said Oklahoma had the best workout habits of any team they'd seen last year, and obviously that didn't translate. So until I see Mixon against real competition, it's hard to say how he deserves.
I mean, I heard last year that when Joe Mixon went down, okay, well, that's a bad way to put that. When Joe Mixon got suspended for the year, that was the first time I had really ever heard about how good Samaje Perine might be. And I'm just wondering, I think that's part of the reason I started asking these questions, because now all of a sudden Joe Mixon's back, and no matter how good a year everyone thinks Samaje Perine had last year, boy, I hear a lot from, I'm assuming it all comes from inside the offices of OU and out through different mediums after that, oh man, Joe Mixon is just great. And I'm just wondering if that's just us needing to be ready to see Joe Mixon a whole lot more than we should have expected after the year Samaje Perine had.
Well, in Perine's case, the first time I started hearing about him was when he showed up in June and they started doing workouts, and there were teammates that just said this guy is a freak show. But he did not have huge numbers coming out of high school. Joe Mixon did. He and as far as the summer the summer camp circuit, that was what you were hearing about Joe Mixon. Now they also talked about he was doing really well in those summer workouts, but Perine was the guy that caused jaws to drop, because even the coaches I'd talked to, nobody had ever seen a freshman come in like that. Even as far as strength, I mean, he was just doing things even Adrian Peterson wasn't ready to do when he came here.
All right, baseball update.
Okay.
I mean, I don't really have anything other than that.
Okay. OU opens their 3-game series with TCU tonight. If OU sweeps that series, they will win the Big 12 title.
Percentage chance, John, that they sweep it?
3%.
Oh, good night.
I mean, TCU's really good. And OU hadn't swept anybody since, I want to say, the second series of the year, and that was Kansas. So I think it's still in last place.
All right, riddle me this. Percentage chance that the Big 12 regular season champ, if it is OU, gets left out of the field.
3%. I mean,
oh, okay. So this basically is like a play-in for the tournament if they sweep them.
You really start doing the math on the RPI. If OU's got to win 2 out of 3 in this series to have a shot at an at-large bid, but I think if they win 2 out of 3 and then win a couple games in the Big 12 tournament, they'll get there. But if they win the Big 12 title, there's no way they're not getting an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. There's just none.
All right, 10-4. All right, good talking to you, buddy.
All right, talk to you guys later.
All right, man.